I was American born, and I'll die in America.
Welcome to our group. Welcome to Defender 7. Defender 7 has so much knowledge, and this ought to show it right here.
Do you or someone you know suffer from depression? If so, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Good evening and welcome to another Defender 7 weekly Monday night broadcast with your host, Kimberly PURVIS. That's Colonel Kimberly PURVIS. And I'm your co-host and General of the Defender 7, Bobby Ormsby. Now, before we get on with the show, I need to read our disclaimer. For those of you new that are just tuning in, the views and opinions expressed on Defender 7 radio show and Facebook page are those of the callers and or authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Defenders 7. Now, with that being said, we also have a website with a store and a donate button. Type in all lowercase letters, www.defenders, Roman numeral V as in Victor, with 2 small i's.com. 100% of all proceeds from our store and any donations that we bring in go back to our communities throughout all 50 states in a time of need. So please, by all means, purchase something from our store or hit that donate button. Help us to help you and our communities. Can also be reached on our national Facebook page by typing in the search box all capital letters, Defenders 7. That's Defenders, Roman numeral V as in Victor, with 2 large I's. Before you click on that join button, just know that we expect all of our members and our future members to participate in all that we do throughout the Defender 7. Now, if you get in there and you feel it's not for you, you can always leave. No hard feelings. We're also on MeWe. Click on organizations, scroll down to Defenders 7 Humanitarian American Patriot Group. Now, before I give you the information about how to call us, I've been working on a cold case with We Can Bring You Hope for a Caitlin Atkins, Spotsylvania, Virginia. So any of our listeners from Virginia, by all means, please check out We Can Bring You Hope on Facebook by just typing in WCBYH and help share the flyers or even join to help this family get closure they deserve. If you want to do anonymously, you can either contact me here at Defender 7 or go straight to their organization Gmail account, which is wecanbringyouhope.org. Again, this is for Caitlin Atkins from Spotsylvania, Virginia. She disappeared in 2015, and we're trying to bring this family some closure. Thank you in advance. Now for tonight's show and all the shows we do here on Blog Talk Radio, we enjoy it when you call in and participate. And that number to call, area code 914-205-5773. Again, the number to call to participate, area code 914-205-5773. And let me welcome our Colonel, your host, Kimberly PURVIS. And we also have our captain from Wisconsin, Miss Lorna Munson.
Hello,
from Wisconsin.
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 Today's been a crap-ass day. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's been raining here.
Well, I wish it would rain. I really don't care. I'm beyond caring about rain right now. I hate insomnia. It sucks ass. I didn't go to bed till 7 o'clock this morning and woke up at 11. And so, needless to say, my whole day has gone downhill from there. So, yeah, it's one of those days. And then I get another migraine. I don't know. I honestly think it has something to do with my celiac. I guess that I'm missing some items or whatever that has gluten in it that I would not normally think has gluten in it. So I'm going to have to detox completely, and that's going to suck big time. Because when you detox off of something that your body shouldn't have, it's harsh. It's really hard on your body because it drags you down. So this is going to be a fun week or two. So how was your day today?
Very long.
I know. Mine too. It's been long. It sucks, but how about you, Bobby? Besides rain.
Yeah, long and boring and rain.
I couldn't drag myself to do anything. It was enough for me to wash dishes and mop the kitchen floor. That was my major accomplishment today. And that's, But I thought, I know like on Mondays we do a history of whatever. So I thought I'd do something a little different. It's still a history of serial killers. Now, people may ask, why in the hell am I doing a serial killer history of serial killers? Well, one, it's to learn something. Hey, I know who that is. And the other thing is it also gives you a hint to what to watch out for. Unusual behaviors and things like that. So, Bobby, I sent you 3 links, but I'm not going to use the whole list because it's like every serial killer from the whole entire world, which I thought would be pretty cool. But I'm going to do the other 2. But I also found the most famous female serial killers. I'm going to tell you something. Do you know that
Don't tell anybody.
Women serial killers, did you know that women serial killers went all the way back to the 1800s?
I believe it.
And so I said, why not learn about a few of them? So I'm going to start off with the 27 most notorious serial killers that never got caught. Period. Kind of sucks. So the first one is Charlie Chopoff. And some of these people I have never heard of, ever. And this is why I thought we would do it. Charlie Chopoff is the alias assigned to the American serial killer who brutally murdered four boys, minority boys in New York. And his methods involved mutilating their genitalia. Even though there was one person who confessed, Erno Soto, confessed to one of the murders, he was deemed unfit for trial. So they could not convict him. But they never found the guy who originally did it. And he was born in the United States, of course. The Atlanta Ripper, they have no picture of this man. He was born in the United States. And the Atlanta Ripper targeted black or dark-skinned women. It doesn't matter what your race, even if you're white and you're really tan. It doesn't matter. Any woman with dark skin. He murdered at least 15 of them. And all of the victims of the perpetrator were in their early 20s. However, the number of victims is disputed to this day. And the suspects could be more than one. It doesn't even say how many women he's killed, which is pretty sad. And they don't have a whole lot of information, unfortunately, on some of these. The Phantom Killer, also born in the United States, he's also known as the Moonlight Murderer. He's an unidentified serial killer who killed 5 and wounded 3 between February 22nd, 1946, and May 3rd of 1946. As I say, the series of unsolved murders were referred to as the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. So they have no idea to this day who this person is. Don't even know if it's a man or a woman. That's pretty sad. Jack the Ripper, also the Whitechapel murderer, the leather apron. He was born in England. Well, here's the thing about Jack the Ripper. They don't even know if it's a real man. It could have been a woman. They have actually no clue. He was born in 1865, and Jack the Ripper was most actively in the poverty-stricken parts around the Whitechapel district in London, and the typical victims were prostitutes who worked in the slums of Whitechapel and nearby areas. And, oh, wow. The modus operandi of his method of whatever he did was ripping the victim's throats and abdomens. Now, if they don't know if it's a man or a woman, and this is, I'm just guessing on this one, if it's a woman, I would want to bet it's the wife of one of the Johns that those prostitutes had slept with. And she was just getting back at all the prostitutes. I mean, Lorna, wouldn't you? I mean, if you were a serial killer, and would you do that?
Do what?
If portrayed being a man?
No, I don't know.
No?
I never thought about it. That was a trick question.
No, I'm just saying. Back. It is a trick question. That's kind of like the question, honey, did these make my butt look big? Yeah, man, never answer that question. No, seriously, if you were psychotic enough, right, and your spouse cheated on you with prostitutes, I mean, I guess that's one way of getting back at the prostitutes for trying to wreck your marriage, I guess. But, she could always Lorena Bobbitt his ass. I mean, but of course, Lorena Bobbitt wasn't around back then.
If it's prostitutes, 9 times out of 10, they don't know that they're married or not. So if anybody should be off, it should be the husband.
Exactly. But unless the wife knew, this is just my guess because, like they said, they have no idea if it was a man or woman. They just naturally assumed it was a man.
Right.
So trust me, if this would have happened now, profilers around the world would know exactly their age, their sex, their family history. I mean, they would have all of this shit down, you know. The Zodiac Killer, who's also born in the United States, and has claimed to have murdered up to 37 victims. And he killed between the 60s and 70s in Northern California. And all of those cases are still open in Riverside, California, and Napa County. They've never caught him. He looks, the picture they have, of course, it's an older picture, but he looks to be probably in his mid-20s or late 20s. So he could still be alive. He'd be old as shit, though. But they've never caught him. Number 6 is the Oakland County child killer, and he was also known as the babysitter killer. He's born in the U.S. The Oakland County child killer, whose identity remains unknown, which I do not even know how they got this picture, but it looks like a sketch, really, a really good sketch. He killed at least 4 children from February 15th of 76 to 77. And he also kidnapped them, held them captive, and then he killed them all. See, I don't like the fact that it doesn't tell you anything about, this is an awesome, weird name. The Black Doodler. 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 He was born in the United States. All the suspected 16 victims were white males, and they were also members of the LGBT community. And he targeted gay nightclubs, bars, and restaurants to pick the victims. And he was called the Doodler. Okay, there's a Doodler, because he would draw his victims, draw a picture of them before having sex with them, and then later stabbing them to death. So, it doesn't matter if you're gay or not. If you're out at a restaurant and, just watch people's behavior. It doesn't have to mean they're going to kill you, but it could be for any reason. Just keep your eyes open for any odd things that happen. The Cleveland Torso murderer, also known as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. He was born in the U.S. He had 12 victims, and he mutilated them and dismembered them. And he disposed of them in the poverty-stricken of Kingsbury Run. And this is between 1935 and 1938. And they believe there could be as many as 20 victims. So... And the thing about serial killers, because I've, watched so many murder shows like Criminal Minds and you name it, all of those shows, most serial killers never stop unless they get caught. Depending if, and a majority of the time, they all have mommy or daddy issues. Some of them actually want to get caught, and that's what they'll do. Like BTK, and he was here in Wichita, Kansas. I did not know that, but some of them like to play games with the police, and that's one thing he did. And I believe the Zodiac Killer. Did you guys ever hear anything about the Zodiac Killer? Bobby? What do you want to know?
I couldn't find my button.
I don't remember much about.
I think I watched. There's a movie out called The Zodiac Killer. I seen the movie. I don't remember much about it.
Did he toy with the? Did he toy with the cops like BTK did?
Yes, he did.
He did? Okay. Not to ask a stupid question because they don't have anything as to why they called him. Why did they call him the Zodiac Killer? Because he killed by the different zodiac signs, or?
No, because he always his calling card was a zodiac sign.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like he went out and found an Aries and put that like that. It was just whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like almost like the Star of David.
Oh, okay.
That's how he signed off.
Because I know there was one other one, and I don't know how true this one particular story is. He would take the constellations.
That's how he signed. That's how he signed all of his messages to the police and wherever he did the killing.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because there's another one. He did all the constellations, and he would take a screwdriver and punch holes in the abdomen of his victim in the sign of the constellation, and that's what he would do. And then, and then the thing is, they caught him, of course, and put him in prison. They executed him, but what happened was, and they couldn't figure out why. And come to find out, it was one of his pen pals, and it's one of those. Wow, I just hope that nobody ever does that stupid shit. But yeah, I do know that like the BTK, he toyed with the cops. I've never heard of this one either.
He put his whatever in the newspapers.
His ads?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know there's been more than one Zodiac Killer movie about him. This next one is The Servant Girl Annihilator. Wow. Was born in the U.S., also known as the Austin Axe Murderer. And he killed at least 8 people in Austin. No clue who it was. And it was from 1884 to 1885. But see, like the Annihilator, usually when they're given that name, they will annihilate the whole family, not just one person. So they must have changed it, or that's just what he calls himself. The Axeman of New Orleans. He was from 1918 to 1919, and he was never identified. He killed 6 people. In a letter published on March 13th, 1919, the killer claimed that he was a demon and would spare people. He would spare people if they played jazz music at their home on March 19th, 1919.
Do you have Samuel Little on your list?
I don't know. I might just hold on to that name. We're going to go through from what time?
Let's
Samuel
see.
Little. Hold on.
It doesn't say.
Beer man, Jack. Hold on. Let's see.
Well, he just died December 31st, 2020. He's the one. He had the most people killed. He killed 93 people.
Oh no, there's more. There's serial killers who've killed way more than that. I even have. Hold on. Where am I at? Hold on. See, because I have a list. No, what was his name?
Samuel Little.
Samuel Little. From where?
Doesn't say.
Oh, okay. They've got. Oh, this is all alphabetical. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, they've got. They've got
world's
people,
youngest.
They've got people who've killed over 300 people.
Oh wow! I wonder why they got marked as the most at 93 kills.
Okay, so he might. He should be here. Oh, here he is. Samuel Little was convicted of killing 3 women, but later investigations linked 31 other murders to him. Little is now thought to be America's most prolific serial killer. That's why. He was the most prolific one. But here's the thing. In America, he may be the one who's killed the most.
Oh, okay, in
all
America.
All the other ones? Yeah, because, hold on. He killed as many as 93, 3 above his initial confession. The FBI later total confirmed 50 murders linked to him, and they're ongoing. Now, Gary Ridgway, he killed 71 to 90. Ted Bundy's up to 100. But the thing is,
oh, wow.
So, and John Wayne Gacy, but I'm going to get to all of those.
You know what's really freaky?
The list I'm working on now is the ones that never got caught.
You know what's really freaky is a few of them are from Wisconsin.
I know. The Frankfurt slasher, he was born in the U.S., and his name, he's also known as Leonard Christopher. He was in the Philadelphia area between 1985 and 1990, and they said he killed up to 8, but they're not sure. He was convicted for one of the murders, but the others remain unsolved, and, well, he's gone. The Connecticut River Valley killer in the U.S., he stabbed people, and he was in the late 70s and 80s. Most of the victims were women, and some of them were also raped. They have no actual picture of him, just a sketch. The Phantom Freeway, an unidentified serial killer who operated around 1.5 years between 71 and 72 in D.C., and most of them are teenage and younger black girls who were raped and murdered. Bible John, and he was in Glasgow, Scotland from 1968 to 1969, and they think he killed at least minimum of 3 young women, and they were brunettes, and between 25 and 32. And that is still to this day is one of the most expansive manhunts in Scottish history. And back in the late 60s, he was really young. So he's still alive. Well, he may not be alive. But yeah, they never caught him. The I-70 killer is an unidentified serial killer who murdered 6 store clerks in the Midwest, mostly young brunette women. And those are also cold cases. And, yeah, he looks kind of creepy, kind of a bad sketch art. But the Honolulu Strangler, also known as the Honolulu Rapist, he is Hawaii's serial killer from 85 to 86. It's kind of weird how they call him a serial killer because he only killed, unfortunately, he only killed 5 women. So at what point did they make you a serial killer? After 2? I mean, I've never knew what makes you a serial killer. I mean, how many people do you have to actually kill? Dean Corll, was an American. He's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was in Houston, Texas, and his victims were adolescent boys along with 2 teenage accomplices. He kidnapped, tortured, raped, and killed the boys. In total, it was about 28 before he was shot and killed by one of his own helpers. And this was in 1939. So the cops didn't even know who it was, except for the fact that one of the teenage boys who helped him do it shot and killed him. The Stone Man was held accountable for killing homeless rag pickers and beggars in, where the hell is that? Oh, this is in India, in Kolkata in 1989. The same pseudonym was assigned to a serial killer in Mumbai between 85 and 88. So they think it's the same person in India, just 2 different areas. And it's between 18 and 26 victims. So have you guys heard of any of these besides the Zodiac Killer and some of the more, the other ones? Have you guys ever heard of any of these guys?
No.
Neither have I. None of them. I'm just like, wow. I'm surprised because normally someone's going to make a movie out of it, out of these people. I mean, they always do. The West Mesa bone collector was in New Mexico. He was in Albuquerque. And the bones of 11 women between the ages of 15 and 32, oh, God, and a fetus was discovered in 2009, buried in the desert in West Mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And now I can see this. They were drug traffickers and prostitutes between 2001 and 2005. So probably a cartel. What they do with these, with all of these unaccompanied kids that's coming across the border right now, how they make them drug traffickers, and then they pimp them out. And if they stop, they go back and kill their family in whatever country. And there's a possibility that's who this person is, unless he's just a twisted friggin' person. Now this chick, wow. Marie Delphine McCarty was born in New Orleans in 1787. So this is the oldest female serial killer. Telling you, women are nuts. Sorry, Lorna, but I have to agree with most guys on this one. Women are nuts. They were serial killers way before men were.
I'm the first one to say that. I've been saying that all along. I'm the first one to say that. They are nuts.
I know. I'm telling you. Delphine Marie LaLaurie was a New Orleans Creole socialite, more commonly known as Madame Blanc. She became notorious for having tortured and brutally murdered, slaves at her mansion. Although her cruelty came to light, she managed to flee to France. They never caught the bitch. Wow. That's awful. Okay, guys, ready for this one? The Beer Man. He was born in India. The Beer Man killed 6 people.
Must be Bobby.
Okay, listen to this. He often left beer bottles or beer cans beside his victims' bodies. And he was in Mumbai, India, from October 2006 to 2007. Huh?
Inside their bodies?
No, beside their bodies.
Oh, beside.
I twisted now.
Inside of it. Oh my God.
Yeah. So until in 2007, a man named Ravindra Cantrill was caught and subsequently sentenced to life in prison. However, in 2009, the High Court acquitted him as it found him not guilty of the killings. So the beer man is still running free. Now, I don't know if this is the same person. Well, this is Jack the Stripper, or also known as the Hammersmith Nude Murders. It was also in London, England. Oh, never mind. This is from the 1960s. Jack the Stripper is an unidentified murderer who operated in London in the mid-60s. His 6 victims were all prostitutes, and he left them naked near the River Thames, which is that big-ass river that's in London where the London Bridge is, and another one of Scotland Yard. And I wonder if he is a copycat to Jack the Ripper. Because a lot of times, if you have the inclination and you're a sociopath, sometimes people will, of course, I'm getting this one right off of Criminal Minds here from like way back. They said that there's one type of serial killer who will copycat all the different types of serial killers until that person finds the one that they want to do. And this one person did Jack the Ripper. They did BTK, the Zodiac. I mean, they went through until they found what they like doing. And I forgot what they call them when someone does that. The Monster of Florence, also known as Snack Companions, the Monster, the Surgeon of Death. Wow. This was in Italy, and the Monster of Florence was the name assigned to the serial killer by the Italian media, and he killed 16 people between 68 and 85. And this is mostly young couples who were parked and camped at the rural areas of Florence, Italy, and he mutilated the women, their genitalia. Now that attacking couples was also another serial killer, but I couldn't tell you who that was because I forgot. The Paturas Park murderer, also known as the Rainbow Maniac in Brazil. He also murdered 13 gay men between 2007 and 2008. 12 of the victims were shot in the head. And then the other one, he beat him to death in the head. It doesn't say what he killed him with. The alphabet murderer, or the double initials, what they also call them, born in the United States, between 71 and 73, 3 girls that were from the ages of 10 or 11 were raped and murdered, and the children's first name and surname started with the same letter also. Ooh, that's creepy. Also,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that one.
Oh, you do? The name sounds familiar, but I didn't. Of course, I was just born, but yeah, that's so. Okay, 2 more left of the ones that have never been caught. The Colonial Parkway killer was from 86 to 89, and supposedly have killed 8 people near the Colonial Parkway in Virginia. And he or she killed the victims in pairs. And later, investigations have revealed that those acts could have been the work of different murderers. So, copycat, probably. So, I've heard of this one, the Long Island serial killer, or also known as the LISK. Let's see, the Gilgo Beach Killer, the Craigslist Ripper, The murderer is suspected of having killed between 10 and 16 people over 20 years, and the targets were prostitutes of bodies who were disposed of on the South Shore of Long Island. And, yeah, he looks like a creepy little shit, probably in his 20s. But they never caught him. So, let's go to the...
Tim,
yeah.
Kimberly, you asked a question before about what makes it a serial killer. There are two things. Well, there's a couple of different things. One, it's not just that it's more than two killings. It's that they are exactly the same. And, and that sometimes it's over state lines, but it's the killing itself. Sometimes they don't realize it's a killing until after 4 or 5 people are killed. So it's not a specific number. It's the method. There have been serial killings that it was not determined to be a serial killing until years later, and somebody's going, through old cold case files or something.
Yeah.
And that's when they've learned that it actually was a serial killing. So it's the method more than the number.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I just didn't know. I'm like, okay. I just didn't know if it was more than 2 or. See, also it's another thing. It's how heinous the crime was. That's another thing they look. I mean, there's so many ways, but yeah, it's kind of it's what makes them tick. They say there's actually, if you do a PET scan of a serial killer
yes.
to a normal person, I say normal, I mean someone who's
typical.
Yeah, your average person. In their PET scan, there's areas of the brain that are lit
Correct.
up on a serial killer compared to, and it has nothing to do with like PTSD or schizophrenia or anything like that. There's something in their, mostly it's in their frontal lobe, because that's your moral compass of who you are, is in your frontal lobe. So
some people are born that way. Most of them, I think most of them they said are born that way. However, it's their development that determines whether or not it grows or something like that. I don't remember the specifics, but it was something along those lines, that they're actually, the majority of them anyway, are actually born with that frontal lobe issue, and then it's their environment, for the most part, that makes it expand, that plays a major role in it. That's why sometimes sociopaths, they say, is your child killing animals?
Oh yeah. Well, there has to be three key. There are 3 principles to saying someone's a sociopath. Then they start out, and I believe it was like a bedwetter, and then they go into killing animals, and the lack of empathy or sympathy. They're just totally emotionless, and so that's how they can identify someone as being a sociopath. So, but this next section is, these are the most notorious serial killers in the world. And the one person they do not have on here is Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know why. But I actually know someone who was a victim of Jeffrey Dahmer, and he escaped from when we lived in Massachusetts. And it was a friend of ours. His cousin escaped. And he's pretty tormented. So Tommy Lynn Sells from Texas was convicted of several brutal murders between 85 and 99. And he stabbed a 13-year-old girl 16 times. And he was arrested after he broke into the room of a 10-year-old girl, stabbed her and left her to die. Fortunately, she survived and asked her neighbors for help, eventually helping to catch this monster. And the infamous Coast to Coast was sentenced to death and is currently waiting for his execution. But he's in Texas. I'm surprised they haven't killed him off yet, because in Texas, one of the states that has, you know, they don't have a time where, I mean, I guess they just, you know, you get a death penalty, boom, you're done. The Green River killer, Gary Ridgway, would throw his victim into the Green River, thus his alias. He was arrested in 2001, but, damn, he admitted to murdering at least 70 women during the 80s and 90s. And because he provided the authorities with the details of the murders and location of the body, he evaded the death penalty and was convicted of 49 of them and got life in prison.
Wow.
That's just awful. Number 8 is the original, Ed Gein, and this was one sick son of a bitch, Ed Gein. There is a movie made after him, but he was an inspiration. He is the reason why we have so many horror movies, like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, the thing about Ed Gein, though, and this is where you're going to find most of your serial killers. Like him, he had an abusive childhood and an alcoholic father and a psychotic mother. So most of these serial killers, like when I say mommy and daddy issues, they could have either sexually abused them, verbally, emotionally, physically abused them. So, and that's what happens if you go through childhood like this and you just keep on going through your adult life, that's what happens. And you snap. But he was one of the worst serial killers. His family eventually died, and he was left alone in their house, turning part of his home into a shrine dedicated to his mother. So even though she was nuts, it's kind of like that in an abusive house, the children will side with the abusive parent more than the non-abusive parents. And I mean, a lot of people don't understand this. It's because they fear the abusive parent of what they would do if they side with the non-abusive parent. It happened in my household with my children. Their father was abusive, and everything he did, I'm surprised I don't have 3 psychotic children. So anyway, Ed Gein made a woman suit to make him like his mother. And police discovered numerous exhumed corpses at his property, as well as the trophies he made from their bones and skin. And Ed Gein confessed to killing 2 women and was later declared insane, eventually dying at a mental health institute. I didn't know he died. Huh. Lady Bluebeard, Belle Sorensen Gunness, killed several of her boyfriends, husbands, and even children, all because of life insurance money. The Norwegian-American serial killer was active between 1884 and 1908. The authorities found her body and the 5 remains in her farmhouse, along with 11 other people. Damn. She was pronounced dead, but many speculate she framed her death and escaped. Wow. Ted Bundy, after Jack the Ripper and Charles Manson, Ted Bundy is probably the most famous serial killer. Bundy's victims were females, and he would kidnap them, rape them, and dismember them, and even keeping their heads as souvenirs. And he was executed in 1989 after admitted murdering 30 women. Wow. This next one, the Night Stalker, he looks kind of creepy. He just has a blank expression on his face. If you guys want to see these links that I'm using, I'll show them to you. But he just has this blank stare on his face. But his name was Richard Ramirez. He was notorious for breaking into people's homes in Los Angeles and murdering them with a variety of weapons, including shotguns, knives, and even a tire iron. His first victim was a 9-year-old girl. Wow. Dr. Death, and no, this was not Dr. Kevorkian, by the way. Even though this guy looks like Dr. Kevorkian, but it's not him. Harold Shipman was an English doctor and a serial killer with one of the highest number of victims ever recorded. The evil doctor was quite busy with his practice between 72 and 98, and he killed about 250 of his patients by injecting them with lethal doses of medication. Good God, that's worse than Kevorkian. And this is also what he did. He forged their wills so he would inherit their money and cremate their bodies and get rid of the evidence. He was convicted in 2000, but he committed suicide in prison 4 years after. So he saved the state some money. The monster of the Andes, Pedro Alonso Lopez, claimed to have raped and murdered more than 300 women during his killing spree along Southern America. More than 50 of his victims were no older than 12. After he was caught, he confessed to all of the crimes. And, of course, he was declared insane and was released in 1998 based on good behavior. He got off of good behavior for killing 300 women. Holy crap. And we already went over Jack the Ripper. So the other thing about Jack the Ripper, he used to remove the organs of the person. And the Brooklyn vampire, Albert Fish, was a serial killer that was active in the early 1900s. He was prosecuted on the charges of rape, murder, and cannibalism. He ate 3 children and claimed he murdered 100 more. That makes him stand out, and this list is the fact that he sent a letter to one of the mothers of his victims detailing the whole process of his murder, kidnapping them and eating her daughter. Wow, that's just too much. They said that the letter would have made Hannibal Lecter shiver. That's awful. Okay, so that is that on the men. So you want to hear about some? Oh, we got plenty of time. So some of the most famous. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know why he wasn't on there. He spelled Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, here we go.
How do you spell it? D-A-H-M-E-R.
Well, no, it was a Jeffrey. It's J-E-F-F-R-E-Y.
How could Jeffrey Dahmer not be on there?
I don't know. That's what I don't understand. But
he's
was
from
also
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster. And he was a serial killer and a sex offender. And he dismembered 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. This is kind of sick. He had sex with them after they were dead, and he ate them. Wow. But I think he was killed in prison, was he not? I believe.
Dahmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, get this. That son of a bitch is a damn Gemini. Good
Dahmer.
God.
Dahmer is the one that killed the black kids, and
he killed.
Yeah,
he killed Laotians. It didn't matter.
I think there's only one black serial killer because 99% of serial killers are white male. But I know there was one down in Georgia. I think he was from. I know it was down in the South, and he killed I don't know how many kids. And mostly boys, but there were some girls. And this was back, I want to say in the 80s or 90s. I think his name began with a T, T killer, but he's one of the few black serial killers because it's not very common.
I found there in that list I just went over. There was like there was only like 5 or 6. Hold on. Ow! Hold on. Black serial killers. I'm not going to say in U.S. history. I'm just going to say have there been. Wow, 20. Well, this says famous ones. 20 known black serial killers. So
in the United States?
Yeah, you're right. Huh?
In the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, Samuel Little was one. Harry Louis Wallace in 94.
I wonder if that's Samuel Little. Where and when was he?
Oh, he died in prison. In December of last year. He killed over 50 people.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, we talked about him when we first started. He
killed
around 93 people.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then there's Chester Turner. He is sitting on death row right now. Derek Todd Lee. He died in 2016 because of a trauma. Probably he's in prison. Paul, whatever, I can't pronounce his name. Let's see. He had a death penalty, but it was thrown out because it was unconstitutional. Whatever. Lorenzo Gilliard, Fred Price. These are all recent. There is no, none of the black serial killers are, Wow, Eugene Victor Britt got a 245-year prison sentence. He will never see the light of day. Let's see.
I don't know. What state is he in?
Ew.
You know California is letting out 63 or 78,000.
They're letting out 15,000. They're letting out 15,000 felons. No, I don't. It doesn't say where he's at. Yeah, but like I said, most of the black serial killers were all from the last 20 years.
Yep.
Every single one of them. Well, no, Harrison Graham in 1987. Anthony McKnight. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, I know why. Because they found him dead in prison in 2019. Yeah, 2006. Yeah, so all the black male serial killers, they're all from the last 20 years. So let's go with the female nut jobs.
Was he born Jordan is the most famous.
No, she killed her parents, but no, she's not. Because that's all she killed was just her parents. So she wasn't a serial killer.
That's true.
Eileen Wuornos.
Who?
She was just Eileen Wuornos, Wuornos. Between 89 and 90, she was a prostitute turned killer. She murdered 7 Johns who had the misfortune of looking for a little extramarital action. They executed her in 2002. Wow. Myra Hindley.
Interesting.
And her lover, Ian Brady, plotted and carried out the rape and deaths of 5 children. That's awful. Between 63 and 65. And she died in prison in 2002 at 60 years old. Good. Here's another one, Jane Toppin. She was a nurse and had a private practice, racked up dozens of victims in 1885. And they caught her in 1901. She got turned on by killing people and found her to be insane and not guilty. See, I don't believe that you should be found insane if they know you've killed people. That's just tough shit. Throw your ass in prison because do you know what they do? Is they stay in prison in a mental hospital for 5 years, 10 years? Okay, I'm not crazy anymore, and get out. And start all over again.
That's where the problem is. It used to be, I think, that you got thrown in if you did murders or whatever and were crazy. You got thrown in prison and in a mental institution. You got locked away and were never seen again. In fact, that used to happen a lot. That in London back in the 1800s, there was that famous crazy person hospital. And here, I don't know. I know the Quakers are the ones that changed the whole prison system here in Pennsylvania. But the thing is that I agree with you 100%. I understand that they're mentally ill, but they're not going to get better. They're serial killers. They've killed multiple people. They belong in jail, but I understand they also need mental help. And you don't want to throw them in with regular people, prisoners anyway, because God knows what they'll do to them.
Well, that's why they need to be kept separate in a mental prison ward, which I know there is some mental prison wards, but you should not be able to get out of prison. And I know a lot of them can fake being crazy, and that's how they get off. But they shouldn't be able to. And
they shouldn't.
If just say you claim insanity and they put you in the mental ward, okay, I'm not crazy. Well, good. Now you can go to a regular prison and serve the rest of your sentence.
Correct. I agree.
That's what should happen. If you were incompetent then, well, you're competent now. So guess what? Your happy ass is going over to the prison. But hey, I'm just me. Nanny Doss was a black widow who went through 5 husbands before being caught and charged with a slew of murders, including those of her 5 husbands, a mother-in-law, her sisters, 2 of their children, and her own mother. Good God.
Wow.
She was never put to death because she's a woman. So she died in prison at 59 in 1965. I'm sorry, but if you're a woman and you commit some of these heinous crimes, no, your happy ass needs the injection. That's just me. But whatever.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Amy Archer Gilligan, in order to gain access of life insurance money, the nursing home proprietor murdered at least 5 people by poisoning them. And most of your female serial killers are nurses. I hate to say it. What was the one that killed? What was the one in her hospital or the nursing home killed all those patients with insulin?
The Angel of Death.
Oh, crap.
Who was? You know who I'm talking
about? I know who you're talking about. She might be on here. I don't know, but I remember her. What they actually call them, aside of an Angel of Death, they also it's a syndrome where they want to be. They cause the problem, so they could be there to save them.
Right. I know it's similar to Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's in
that's
that,
exactly
that,
what it is.
Huh?
No, that's exactly what it is. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is exactly what that is. To deliberately cause harm to somebody for the attention. But usually people with Munchausen is a parent. Usually it's the mother.
That's why I forgot that it was the same. I'm going to be honest. I forgot it was the same thing because when I think of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, I think of the parents and the kids.
Yeah, it's usually a parent. Usually it's the mother.
Right.
And usually when it comes out, the mother was abused by her parents or her mother. So that's a sad thing, but shit happens. But so this chick, she poisoned her patients. And this included her second husband, Michael Gilligan. And for the others, they lived in her nursing home, and she may have killed more people, but they don't really know. I remember the case. She was initially sentenced to death, but ended up in a mental asylum instead. And she was from 1868 to 1962. And she died at 94 while she was in a mental asylum. Rosemary West, along with her husband, was convicted of murdering 10 young women in 1995. Most of them occurred from 73 to 79. And she was in the United Kingdom. Kristen Gilbert was known, here, this might be what you're talking about. Also known as the Angel of Death, responsible for 3 first-degree murders, a second-degree murder, and 2 additional attempted murders when she was a nurse. And she gave them epinephrine.
Yes.
And
yes.
Right now she is serving a life sentence. And, she was 52 at the time of this article, so I don't know when this was made. But that I remember that one. And there's also one she did insulin as well. Juana Barraza is a Mexican wrestler. They call her the old lady killer. She strangled and killed as many as 49 elderly women. Good God. She was found guilty of 16 murders and sentenced to 759 years in jail. And that she is 62 years old, and she got sentenced in 2006. So that bitch gonna die in prison. Beverly Ollett, in 59 days, her killing spree became one of the most notorious in British history. She was convicted of murdering 4 children, attempting to murder 3 other children, and causing grievous bodily harm to 6 more. She used insulin and other methods to murder these children. Damn. Some of these kids were as young as 7 weeks old. And she is still in a mental hospital in England to this day. And this is like I've said before, this is just my opinion. Anybody that hurts children should get the automatic death penalty. If there is irrefutable proof that you did it, there is no don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You go straight to death row, and you better make your goodbyes, and that's it, and done, and over with. There should be no ag-seg where they put you in solitary confinement because pedophiles and stuff like that, they don't put them in Gen Pops. Because that's how Dahmer died, and another child molester died. I can't remember when it was. It was this year, I believe. he was beat to death by another inmate. Mary Beth Tyning, responsible for the deaths of at least 3 and as many as 9 of her children. Good God. She killed them all before their 5th birthday, and that was between 72 and 85, and she smothered them with a pillow. And
wow.
Good God. She got 20 years in prison and was paroled in 2018. Screw that. That bitch deserved to die. You know who else is not on here? What the hell is that woman? She was a preacher's wife. She killed all of her kids by drowning them. No, she put them in her car.
Oh, was that woman with the car?
Yeah.
Oh, no, tough. There was one who put all her kids in the car and drove into. They made a movie out of it, actually. And then there was another woman who drowned all her kids in the bathtub. She thought they were possessed or something like that.
Yeah. But neither one of those women are on here, and that's disgusting. See, it's people like that it just astounds me. Dagmar, what a name, Dagmar Overby, murdered 25 children, including her own, during a 7-year killing spree from 1913 to 1920. And she was a caretaker at the time, and she would take care of children born outside of wedlock. Wow. She strangled them, drowned them, and burned them to death. Wow. And she died in 1929. That's disgusting. I just can't see how. But mostly women it's the children that, or their husbands. We went over Belle Gunness. She was in 1859. Let's see. Yeah, her house caught on fire, and that's when they found all the dead bodies on her property. And she was declared missing in 1908. They thought she died in 1908, but they couldn't find her body. But that was also in Norway. You guys learning anything?
Yes.
except how twisted people are. That I just cannot fathom the morale, the people's. Oh my God, their brains. I just don't get it. Daria, she's Russian. Saltykova is one of the most brutal killers in history. The Russian noble was responsible for torturing and killing over 100 of her serfs. Mostly, what the hell's a serf? A what? Is that like a serf? A-S-E-R-F-S. Is that like your...
That's a peasant. That's like a peasant, a slave. Not quite a slave. Yeah, serf.
But she was from 1730. She was born in 1730 and she died in 1801.
Okay, yeah, her serf. Those were her either they were sort of like indentured servants. Not quite slaves, but not quite free either.
Yeah. Karla Homolka wasn't a killer in a mastermind way. Instead, she helped her husband Paul murder and rape at least 2 women, including her sister. Good God. She struck a plea bargain with prosecutors and went to jail on the lesser charge of manslaughter in 93. What the hell? That's... we went over Delphine LaLaurie. Okay, let's check out, I don't know how to pronounce her last name because she's from the Czech Republic. Marie Frickenfrack, I don't know. She killed 10 newborns between 1957 and 1960. And they executed her. They hung her ass. and the Czech Republic. Good. That's where she deserves. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I have no heart for anyone that hurts children. Francisca Ballesteros killed her 2 daughters, her husband, her first daughter in 1990 and the other 2 in 2004. And if that wasn't enough, she tried to kill her son. And she was sentenced to 84 years in jail. And that is where she still is to this day. And she's in Valencia, Spain. Catherine Burney, her and her husband killed 4 women in the 80s, was also known as the Morehouse Murders. He was sentenced to life in prison. Wow. Not her. Here's another one. Janine Jones, she was a former pediatric nurse, killed a number of, could be up to 90 infants in her care. She used injections of several drugs for the kids to get gravely ill, and then she'd save them to gain praise. That is what I was talking about. She'd cause them to die, and then she saves them. But that's the woman that I was talking about. It's not called, what is it called? I'm going to have to look it up, guys. So, Bobby, what do you think so far about all these nut jobs?
Free beer.
Wake up! What do you guys think?
I'm surprised they don't have that Bernizer kid on there. He killed his whole family. That was like 10 miles from where I used to live.
But was it a serial killing or just a brat kid that didn't get his way? Like the
I think it was a
brothers?
brat kid that didn't get his way. He burnt them all up in their car. Yeah. After he killed them.
I don't know if that makes him a serial killer or not. I think it depends on why he killed them. Usually serial killers, it's just a mental thing that they want to kill something. But, he killed a lot of people, that's for damn sure. But now what about those killers that get on a roof and start just shooting random people? What category do they come under? I don't think they're considered serial killers. They're just mass shooters.
Nuts. They're just nuts. Little fuckers.
Yeah. Here's a good question, though. Here's something to consider. Have the predominance of serial killers increased because the population has increased? The percentage, or some other reason, like we were saying, black serial killers. There really weren't any until the last, 20 or 30 years. So what happened that all of a sudden we have black serial killers? Because let's face it, we have a lot of gangs, black gangs that kill a lot of people, but they're not considered serial killers because, there's a particular mindset that makes a serial killer. So what has happened? Is it something societal, something, environmental, something they're eating? Is it that all of a sudden? Huh?
It can be. Here's the thing. If you haven't noticed, I don't know if you guys pay attention to this, but if you notice the weather patterns when they change, if it's too hot, too cold, it rains, people's moods change. One, they can't drive for shit. So sometimes it can be because of weather patterns.
I do know that there were some. You're right. Now there are some serial killers actually that did follow weather patterns or seasonal things. I forget where it was that I read it or saw it or whatever, but Yes, there have been cases like that. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Okay.
I just know those people are sick. They're. I mean.
No, I know. I'm looking to see. Oh, never mind. If Carol Bundy was, let's see.
See, I'm a mean, cruel-hearted person. I think that people I don't believe in life in prison. I believe they should be executed. You know, if, you know, something like that, you know, I mean, I understand that it's better 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man or whatever. But when you've got absolute proof or whatever like that, I mean, yeah, everybody's like, oh, well, they just because they put them on death row doesn't mean they're going to get killed right away. And I'm like, why? The only thing that delays the death penalty is all of the appeals.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Like I said, people that touch children, they don't deserve to live. That's just my opinion. Like we said, ours are just opinions. They don't. You don't touch children. Plain and simple. You know, and what's funny is people in prison, they do have morals. And it's funny to say. That's why they don't put pedophiles.
Yeah, you don't want to be a pedophile or a rapist in prison.
No. Rapists, they don't care about them. It's pedophiles. Anyone that touches children, they don't have it. Hold on, I'm going to look. Oh, here it is. What the hell? West Virginia. Wow, apparently there's more than one. Good God. Let's see. I think this is the mother who killed her. What doesn't even say? Good God. Yeah, I can't find it because.
Well, I know they made a movie out of both of them. The one that drove into the water. I don't know if it was a lake or ocean or river. I don't remember what it was. And then there was the woman who thought her kids were possessed and drowned them all.
One mother killed her 3 children to protect them from being abused. Sure.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I can't find it, but... Oh, and Casey Anthony, that little bitch. I cannot believe she got out.
What did she do?
Casey Anthony?
I don't remember all the names. I'm old and senile.
Andrea Yates. That's the one. That's that nutbag. She confessed to killing all 5 of her kids because of the devil.
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah, she drowned him in the bathtub.
That's what I said. I just don't remember the name, but I remember the story.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They said she was crazy. Okay?
Yes.
But still, she deserves to be in prison.
Yes.
I'm sorry that the whole crazy police... when I was living in New Hampshire, this was in the 90s, a mother thought her son was possessed.
Mm-hmm.
And she took a katana. And, oh, shit, sorry. hope my dogs don't see that cat. I had to let him out. Okay. They did not see the cat. Okay, good. But anyway, she took a katana and she repeatedly stabbed her son with it.
Oh, my goodness.
And left him in the apartment. This was across the street from my house that I lived in. Okay. She proceeded to go to a bridge. And it's in Manchester, and I cannot think of the name of that bridge in Manchester. And she jumped off. And the poor cop that went into the house and found her son came out bawling. I mean, he was so distraught from it because of what she did. And I'm sorry, the cops, maybe because it's their job, okay, and this is the inside, you know what, the wrath of God, kind of, they deserve it. They stopped her. I don't know if she jumped and they saved her or they stopped her from jumping. I don't know, but the bitch didn't deserve it. You don't take a katana to your child. So,
no.
But people are just, I mean, I'm telling you, they've lost their shit. So that is all I have for serial killers for the night. So,
okay, so now you're going to come up with something nice and happy and funny, you know, to cheer us up after listening to all that crap,
yes,
right?
I'm going to tell you guys something. Well, this is not nice and funny. This is, dear God in heaven, how can he be so stupid?
Okay, that'll work.
I searched for the article. I found it. And then I found multiple articles on this. Also, unfortunately, it was on CNBC and a few other. Now listen to this article. Austin, Texas. The Federal Drug Administration is preparing to institute more measures to safeguard black lives by banning products they like. After it was announced that the Biden administration would prohibit the sale of menthol cigarettes.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
Oh, it gets better. Officials are looking at other ways the government can save the black community from itself. Only days. Oh, Biden.
Get rid of Mad Dog. Get rid of Mad Dog, Red Bull.
Oh, no. Only days after the menthol ban was announced, the FDA declared it is pushing full steam ahead with its effort to rescue the black community through what they refer to as strategic race-based prohibition.
What?
They're now going to, they're going to ban fried chicken and grape-flavored cola known as the Grape Drank. Grape Kool-Aid.
Okay, do they not realize that most black Americans can make better fried chicken than Kentucky Fried Chicken or even Popeyes?
Well, listen, this is what Biden said. the
He's an idiot.
Fried chicken.
Biden is a racist idiot.
He said, now listen, he wants to ban fried chicken and grape soda because these hopeless Negroes don't know how to act.
No, he did not say that. Did he literally say that?
Yes, he did. He's racist as fuck. He said they're too stupid to know how to get on a computer and go sign up to get a vaccine. Then he said, poor children are just as smart as white kids.
I know.
He has repeatedly put his foot in his mouth. Preventing black people from killing themselves.
And they just let him get away with it. Nobody calls him on it. Even black people they just let it go.
I know. And he said, how could they possibly survive if we don't make these decisions for them? And see, here it is. He is so blatantly racist that people can't believe he actually says this shit. And
nobody calls him on it. People still like him because he's better than Trump. Trump is the racist white supremacist.
I still think it's a cover-up for something else.
Yeah, you know what it is? They've already started Agenda 21. By
what's that?
I'll have to go back. Oh, you don't have Facebook anymore. I put all of the things about me and Bobby talked about a couple weeks ago about Agenda 21. Okay, Bill Gates
put it in
has bought
Telegram, yes. Or
Bill Gates has bought up a couple 100,000 acres of land in
yes,
Oregon State. They're banning people from growing things on their own farmland.
Yes, because of the they somehow got those seeds that belong to companies, so now the land belongs to the company.
Monsanto.
That type of thing. What?
Yes, Monsanto. No, Monsanto owns the right to a lot of the seeds because they engineer them with a gene. And, it's some big bullshit thing but Agenda 21 is basically to, Biden even said it in his congressional thing he did, to redistribute the wealth of America.
Yeah,
that's
I
Agenda
know.
21.
Okay, then I have heard it. I just didn't remember the number.
So basically, once that gets started, they have every right to go into your home, and anything you have an overstock of, they will be able to take it out of your house and you can't complain. That's what Agenda 21 is.
Who can come into my house?
The government.
Sure, let them try.
They will be able to. Now, here's the thing. If they are so concerned, honest to God, I kid you not, I think this should be done. And you could call it, I don't care what you want to call it. There are enough houses, property, apartments, and whatnot that every single person in America will have a place to live.
Yeah. You know how many condemned houses we have here in Lancaster? Give them to the people and let them fix them up and build them so they have their own home. But no, then the banks and the elite aren't going to make any money.
See, here's the thing. Give them a place to live. That way they can get help and get on their feet. The same thing goes with food. You could see America has enough food that not one person should be going hungry in this country.
No, I agree.
But people like Pelosi will brag about her ice cream freezer during the pandemic, and that people are going hungry. So,
well, see, here's the thing: they want you to come begging to them.
I know, and here's what, and Biden said he's going to give stimulus checks for the next 4 years. Who the fuck's going to pay for this shit? But you know what? I will gladly take that check. I will gladly take that check and buy more freedom seeds and stock up on my shit because it's coming, and it's not going to take 4 years.
No,
but
I have a feeling we ain't going to see the end of this year.
Oh no, but here's what could fix the system. As you look at your welfare system,
go back to work.
Straight up from the top. All right, you say you fix the welfare system. Take every single person off of the welfare system that's been on it more than a year. It is only to be used for the elderly and the disabled. And everyone that's on it right now, they've got 1 year to go get some kind of, I don't care if it's go to vocational school and get a job, and get something. Learn some kind of trade.
I don't have an issue with giving them, the trade, paying, grants or whatever for them to get the education to get a job. I don't have a problem with free health care for children, until they reach a certain age or their parents get a job that can pay for health insurance. But the problem is the Democrat government are the ones that allowed and made it possible for businesses to no longer have to give people 40 hours full-time work or
30 hours.
benefits. Right. So it's the Democrat government that did that. The Democrat is the one that destroyed our country, not just for black Americans, but for all Americans. And so I agree with you 100%. I mean, you know, if you're on welfare, then you need to be doing some kind of volunteer work or something to earn whatever it is that you're getting.
Yeah, that's just it. See, and people are like, but I need to be, why? Are you physically handicapped? Or are you schizophrenic? Are you blind? No? Then you can go get a job.
Oh, but I'm a single mom. I have all these kids. I got to take care of my kids. Daycare is too expensive.
Did you guys see that woman? Did you see that woman who had like 10 kids or 12 kids? And she said, I'm getting cut off my welfare. Who's going to pay for my kids? You know what? You got 11 different daddies for all your 12 kids. Maybe they should be taking care of them. And see, it's people like that who live on welfare. Welfare is meant to be an emergency. And so,
but again, you know, at this point, she's in that situation. Okay, you're on welfare. I want you to do daycare. I want you to go clean these government houses. I want you to go volunteer at the mission with the helping the homeless. You know, if you want money, then you have to volunteer so many hours a day or a week. It doesn't have to be full-time, even if it's only a couple of hours a day. But they have to do something. They're getting something for nothing, and that's what I am upset about.
And the other thing is, illegals should not be able to get welfare. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Also, you go look and the Muslims, the Vietnamese, all of these other, the Indians, not American Indians, but, you know, Indians from India.
Right.
They all get friggin' money. They get grants. Why? Because we can't do America. So do it the way everybody else does it. And see, that's how you can cut our spending.
Here's the thing. They eventually wind up paying it back in taxes or whatever. And I hate to tell you this, but Americans, there are grants out there for them too, but they have to work their asses off. That's the problem. Not that the grants aren't there for Americans. It's that there's nobody helping them.
Only if you're a minority.
Correct.
Only if you're a minority.
Right, minority. Yeah, well, the thing is that the grants are there. The problem is people don't know about them, and if they do, it's very difficult to, you know, all the paperwork and stuff that has to be filled out. The immigrants or refugees that are getting these grants have help. They have lawyers. They have immigrants. They have people to help them. It's not that they're getting money that Americans can't get. It's that they have help getting it. But they're also being discriminated against.
After the Vietnam War, the Vietnamese, if they come to America, they do not have to pay taxes.
At all?
It's like 25 years. No, for the first 25 years that they're here, they do not have to pay taxes because of the Vietnam War.
Oh, that's our what's that word that the black Americans want?
Reparations?
Reparation. And I'm sorry, I mean, we lost that war. I mean, we were supposed to pay them money and we never did. So, you know, whether it was right or not doesn't matter. The American government screwed the American people and screwed the Vietnamese people. You know, the American government did that. And the Vietnamese, there were a lot of our troops that we didn't get back, either POWs or dead, that they would have willingly given us back if we would have paid the money that the UN or whoever it was that said that we had to pay the Vietnamese this X amount of money, and American government just said, no, screw you. So, and I guess this is their way of trying to make it right. I don't know.
No, I know. And there was one other thing. Shit, I saw. I was about to bust out. I was like, oh dear God, I just can't. It was today. They are now going to ban Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because it is rape culture. Because it is rape culture.
The dirty version, or just the Disney version?
No, the cartoon. The cartoon.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarcastic.
No. Do you not have Snow Ho and the Seven Dwarfs? No. Because the prince kissed her without her permission while she was asleep.
That's a joke, right?
No. This generation is so butthurt. Oh my God! It's rape. No, it's not. It's a fucking cartoon.
It's the prince waking up the princess.
I know, but here's the thing. Tell your children, look.
Oh, wait. Wait, Kim, does that mean that they're going to ban Sleeping Beauty too?
Probably. That's next. I'm telling you. It's not banned. I really don't give a shit. I think I'm going to go buy a copy of all of the Disney movies. I don't give a shit.
That's if they let you. Crap. Remember when they banned Dr. Seuss, they wouldn't even let people sell them.
Oh no, they're on Amazon. Shit.
Dr. Seuss,
well,
eBay bans them.
You can still buy them. No, there's only 6 books that got banned.
No, that's what I mean. Those 6 books that got banned, you're not allowed to sell them or buy them.
Yeah, well, tough shit.
There were people that were trying to sell them on eBay, and they kept taking them down.
Yeah, but what's wrong with green eggs and ham? How the fuck is that racist or sexist?
Is that one of the books that they took down?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the dear God. Wow.
I don't know anymore. I don't understand this country anymore at all.
Wow. Bill and Melinda Gates are getting divorced.
Yes, I know. I heard about it this afternoon. You got to wonder why. Supposedly it's a friendly divorce, irreconcilable differences.
And there's no prenup.
It's still going to work together.
Yeah. Let's see. Tomorrow, I believe, hopefully Dr. Phil gets on. We're going to go over, I found some more things about the COVID vaccines. So we're definitely not going to agree on that subject, but he brought it up, so I might look it up.
This shedding, there are doctors out there now posting that they won't treat any of their patients that got the shot. They've told them not to come back to the office for a minimum of 30 days after the second shot. And then they'll reevaluate because of the shedding. There's been a number of cases already reported of partners, either sexual or family members or whatever, who are getting the symptoms as if they got the shot. And even Pfizer in their report, I downloaded and saved the report, the as a PDF file, that, because what's happening is people who get the shot, they're producing these viruses, the proteins, the spike proteins. They're producing them. So if you start sweating or sneezing, you pass it on to people.
It's within the first 2 weeks. But here's the thing. I saw a video about a doctor, which, by the way, is the reason why I'm banned for 60 freaking days on Facebook. And they could kiss my ass. He was saying about the vaccine, and it's called Beta BCG. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I went and looked it up. they are not putting beta BCG on the labels as to what's in that's an ingredient in the vaccine. And it's causing abortions, and it's causing women to bleed, and other, and makes women sterile. So this is why I said
some women, their uterine walls have detached, the placentas.
Yeah, placenta previa. But that's just one of the things that I know, and that's why I don't mind going over it with him, because he has a different perspective than I do, because I don't give out vaccines. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I listen to people who actually are for the vaccine. So, you know, the one immunologist, I think I shared the videos with you. The one immunologist, he got it, his wife got it, his parents and in-laws got it, and even he's saying 20 to 30% of Americans should not be getting the vaccine because they're already immune. He was saying that the reason that there are a lot of people having certain reactions is because the government is not testing people for their IgGs before giving them the vaccine. And giving somebody the vaccine who's already immune, has already had COVID, recovered it, all you're doing is you're agitating it type of thing. He explained it much better than I do. But, you know, then the other immunologist I listened to, virologist, he actually worked on a number of vaccines for like even Bill Gates Foundation and some of the others, and he supports the vaccine itself, but he is also saying point blank they should not be giving the vaccine right now. It is not the time to be giving the vaccine. You know, we're supposedly in the middle of a pandemic, and being in the middle of a pandemic is not when you give a vaccine. It's the wrong, his exact words were, it is the wrong weapon for the war.
Yeah. So to change this up a little bit, everyone hears about all these, oh my God, what the hell? I live in, I swear to God, a combat zone. I swear to God, I think they use fireworks to cover up gunshots around here. I say that because every time I turn around, like the other day, a couple of days ago, remember, see, every time there's a show and you guys can hear the fire trucks, the other day a guy was driving excessively fast and he was intoxicated. He rolled it multiple times down the road on the other side of on my block.
Did he survive?
He did, but the woman, the 21-year-old woman in his car, she died. Instead, dumbass got out of his car and started to run. Okay, that was the other day. Well, apparently, this happened at the QT. I don't get people. He got pulled over for a cracked windshield. Okay? It's not the end of the world. You get a ticket for it. You fix your windshield or whatever. He got out of his car and started to run off. And shot himself.
No.
He shot himself. Yes.
As on purpose?
Yep. Cop didn't do it. He shot himself. Right up here. And that's what that pop was the other day. I'm like, Jesus. Like I said, there's some weird shit that goes on. And I think it's got to be something in the water. I don't know.
You really need to get out of there.
Well, there's not a damn thing I could do about it. We don't have the money right now, but this was 6 hours ago. Good God, it was at 1:30 in the afternoon. Well, shit. But yeah, it's just where I live. My side of the road is okay. It's not full of retards. It's the left side of the road, and then you go around the corner on Broadway, and that's, the crack hotels with the prostitutes. And it's all those cheap-ass hotels. and there's a whole string
Yeah,
of them
I'm
all
not
the way up
coming to
Broadway.
visit you.
Yeah, but it's the other block, so we're not. And pretty much everybody on the right side of the road has a fenced-in yard, for the most part. And everybody's pretty decent here. I don't really care. But yeah, I was just flicking through my news. So anyway, aside from the COVID vaccines, I was trying to think of something else, because that's not going to take 2 hours to cover the show for tomorrow night. I was trying to think of something else to cover health-wise. I mean, does anybody have any ideas? Lorna, you still here?
I am here.
Do you have any ideas? I mean, for tomorrow's show, after, because the COVID, I'm not going to have, that's not going to cover 2 hours.
No.
I told Bobby I was going to do it on how stupid I was to think I wanted to get out of nursing. I'm going to go back. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking to change to education. I'm not going to finish. I hate the fact that I've done it. I've taken 4 classes in education, or 5, whatever. It's just not going to happen.
Well, no, because they're not going to let you teach.
No, here's the other thing about that. I am not teaching critical race theory. I will not do it.
Well, that's my point, Kim. If you're not willing to teach the garbage that they want taught, if you're not willing to toe the line, they're not going to let you teach.
No, and that's why I'm going to get my LPN reinstated, because I was stupid and forgot to renew it last year. And on the other hand, they're probably getting a lot of people that want to start their own schools or have somebody to teach their kids. Yeah, but I was going to go for Head Start. And freaking Head Start as an assistant teacher, you have to have 3 years of teaching. What the fuck?
No, well, but that's what I'm saying. You could start your own. I bet you. I bet you there are a lot of people that would.
I've already talked myself out of it. I love nursing. No, really, I love nursing, and there is a place where I could go where I don't have to lift up a lot of weight. So I can always go back into home health. But the VA hospital already said as soon as I get my license reinstated, they would hire me in a minute. And that's
especially now you have that done to your shoulder.
Yeah, and so in September they start the RN program. So what I'm going to do is go for my LPN to probably either just an RN, or I may even get my nurse practitioner. I don't know. I always thought about it, but
I'll admit I loved being I was a home health aide, and I had my CNA, and I was actually going for my RN. My bachelor's when I got disabled and couldn't continue. But so kudos to you. I think it's an awesome thing.
The only drawback about being an RN, it's the freaking paperwork.
Yes.
I'm a hands-on nurse. I flipping hate paperwork with a passion. I hate writing in triplicate. I find it offensive to write in triplicate. Why? Why do I need to write a flow chart that's supposed to get rid of all of the charting, and you put, yes, here they're breathing, they got this, and this, and then you got to go to the bottom and rewrite the whole entire document in a paragraph or a book or whatever. It's like, it's just stupid. I went round and round.
Especially since everything's on computer now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Even though it's on computer, you got the little drop-down boxes, and you put everything there, and then you're supposed to chart by exception, okay, which means, especially when you do home health, walked in, knocked on a patient's door, whatever. They ambulated to the door, short of breath, blah, blah, blah. And then anything that happened out of the ordinary. That's charting by exception.
Well, I was putting a private duty, so I didn't have to do any of that crap.
But yes, so if you're in a career that you love, before you go and want to change it, really sit down and think about it before you do it. Because you're going to end up like me. Kicking yourself in the ass for changing your mind. Yeah, and also to be a teacher, you have to be able to lift up 30 to 50 pounds, and I can't.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So I can't. I can only lift up 10 at the most. But that's all. If you guys have anything to help cover for tomorrow, let me know. If not, I'll hopefully think of something tonight to cover for tomorrow. So,
I got something for
like
you. It's actually somewhat related to COVID. I don't know how easy it'll be or whatever, but what about diseases that are transferable from animals to humans, which COVID supposedly is?
True. I can do that. What diseases are transferred from animal to human or human to animal?
Right. I know rabies and mad cow disease, and I know
and the Zika virus from mosquitoes. But
and there's something you can get from cats. But seriously, that might be. I mean, it'll help fill the time, and it's somewhat related. You know what I mean?
Oh no, true.
Got 90 seconds.
Bobby, we got 2 minutes. I know.
No, we got 90 seconds.
Oh, well, go
90 seconds. I want to thank you again for another great show. As usual, ladies, thank you for joining the conversation. God bless America, our children, our veterans, first responders, and God bless the Defender 7.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.